Hi guys, I just wanted to do this video to thank you all for linking up with me on Patreon. It really means a lot, it does. It means I've got some guys who really appreciate the things I do, and hopefully if I can get some more guys involved, I can look forward to sort of producing more videos and making more videos going forward, because as I've already said in the video, the YouTube demographics means that my channel is it's just been cast aside like weeds now. They're really only catering for the bigger channels now. They're kind of looking after them, and those smaller guys were just being sort of tossed aside. So I was hoping, you see, when I started to build a channel to try and earn a bit of revenue. I mean, it's never going to be an income, but it was kind of an offset for the work I do in doing the videos. It doesn't even pay for it, but you know, it just motivates you to do more. And I enjoy doing it anyway. You know, I've never done it for the money, but anyway, can talk about it forever. But hopefully, if I can get some more patrons on board, some more supporters, then I can just do a lot more for you guys, rather than just generic videos, throwing them on YouTube, wondering, you know, if people like them. I'm assuming so far, because I've put the last rocket stove video out, so I'm assuming a lot of you guys are really into the rocket stove thing, which I do love. I do love building the rocket stoves, but it got to a point where I was just spending so much money and so much time working on them to no end, other than just to make a video doing it, you know. And the income I was getting from doing them videos, it wasn't even paying for the materials. Well, it wasn't paying for anything. Let's be honest, you know, it wouldn't pay for 2 hours of my time over the life of the bloody video. So I just had to kind of put the rocket stove thing on the back burner. And the reason I did this stove is because I've had ideas spinning around in my head for a while, and the guy who wanted me to build that for him, he offered me an incentive in which he had an old lathe, a Boxford mini precision lathe, which I've been after a precision lathe for, I've been after a lathe, metal turning lathe, for years now. And I've just been able to find one that's like in a price bracket that I could afford. But I've done a little video. I'll just put a picture in here. I'm going to do a video on it, so I'll stick a picture in here now. This is the little lathe. It didn't come like this, believe me. It was a mess. It was a disgusting mess, and I've had to do quite a few things to it in order to get it looking like this. I've repainted it. I stripped the whole thing down, every nut, bolt and screw. Had it soaking in diesel to free everything off, then in white spirit, then it was all degreased, cleaned down. It's been repainted. I've found that it's got a good chuck. It's got a good 3-jaw chuck on it. It's a Burford, I think it is, Burford chuck, an old English chuck. The lathe is 70 years old. The chuck's probably similar, but one of the teeth in the jaws, one of the jaws in the 3-jaw chuck has got 2 of the kind of gears broken off underneath, so that chuck is going forward before the others, so it's not quite centering. So I'm going to have to buy another 3-jaw chuck. I can't get the jaws for it, and if I do find some, they're going to cost more than a new chuck would. I've bought a new tailstock chuck. I've had to shim the bearings out because the headstock was worn. I've shimmed that out. I've got a 1/4 horse motor on a variable drive, which I'm going to convert the lathe to that, because the drive pulley from the motor was missing. Didn't have that, so I would have had to get one of them machines. It's just going to be so much easier to convert it to a variable drive. Hopefully I've got the pulleys right. They're at the shop now, being turned out for the shafts on the motor and on the lathe, and I can hopefully, if it works, if there's enough torque, then good. If there's not, I'm going to have to get a different pulley and keep trying till I get it right. But anyway, I'm going to be doing more videos on the lathe, and I should have really started doing them, but you know, I was just eager to get the thing, you know, to pieces and get it cleaned up. But hopefully, going forward, I'll keep updating you on the lathe. Rocket stoves I've got several builds I really want to do, and hopefully going forward now with this Patreon, I can just get something towards the funding of buying sort of the steel and the consumables, you know, welding wire, gas, grinding discs, refractory, all the things, the glass, the rope, the gasket, all the stuff you need to you know, just to experiment building rocket stoves. I've always tried to use scrap in the past, but the sources for that round here now have sort of dried up, so it's off to the steel works. Every time I go to the steel yard, it's costing me £100–200, you know, to just to buy steel that isn't quite up to spec for what I want it to do, but it's experimental, so I don't mind that. But I can hopefully start doing a lot more builds. I have got my pizza oven, which is kind of morphing at the moment because I've had new ideas. I've gone, the one I've got now, I've gone as far, believe me, as far as I can go with that. I've just wrung every ounce of efficiency out of it, but I did mention on one of my live streams that I've got a new idea which, if it works, will surpass that stove, and it will take a lot of the fabrication out of that. And if it works, I'm just not, I've no idea if it will. I know it will burn. I know for a fact it will burn, but whether it gets up to temperature or not, I don't know yet until I've built it. So I'm going to build that. I am going to go and buy some vermiculite boarding rather than steel. So I'm going to buy some sheets of vermiculite. I'll probably have to spend about 80 quid on vermiculite boards to actually build the stove, and then I will have a test burn in it. If that works, I will look into getting some more efficient, lighter refractory and build a stainless steel housing to put that pizza oven in. And if I can get it running efficiently, then I will seriously consider going into production with that, you know, and investing quite a bit of money into it. But we'll see. That's why I like working on the rocket stoves, because there's always more avenues to explore, you know. Currently I am just forging a katana. That's where I am with it. And I have videoed this. I'll be putting the video on here in a couple of days, guys, when I just get a little bit more footage. It has been forged from W2 steel, and a fully forged blade. And it's been taken to the grinder now. I've ground all the rough forging scale off, and I'm now just refining the bevels and the edge with a hand file. And I'm probably only 3 hours now off finishing this blade and getting it ready for heat treating. So as soon as I get to that stage, I can get all the footage wrapped up, and I'll stick it on here for you guys to see. And then I'll just do the standard from now on cut down version for YouTube, you know, the 10-minute video, because that YouTube's demographics and the way they're working it is a 10-minute video is going to get you the most revenue, but I can't get what I want to say into 10 minutes. Yeah, I just can't, and that's why I've gone to Patreon. I'll have some videos up for you fellas, and I'll be doing another little video in the next week, and I am going to show you what sort of things I'm going to be giving to you as a way of a thank you. I'll be making some small little knives like kiridashis and little neck knives, and just easy to post items that I can send anywhere in the world, you know, and it's not just going to cost me a fortune for postage, insurance and shipping and all the other things that goes with it, and it doesn't take me a massive amount of time, like a week to make, because obviously I'm just shooting myself in the foot of that again. But yeah, and I'll be making maybe little key rings out of Damascus, different types of Damascus, feather pattern Damascus, and maybe making some of them into like bottle openers, and just, you know, just things I can do as a thank you to you, sort of like wooden marking knives from Damascus, and just little things like that that are really cool, you know. Maybe even some blacksmithing items as well, you know, some blacksmithing stuff I can forge out, like a horsehead door knocker or whatever. Anyway, we'll see. I'll put a video up. I'll knock a few things up in the next week, and I'll come back with a video and I'll show you what I'm going to send you, and just as a thank you. And I'll be doing these draws. I'll do a draw in a month, I think. So anyone who's a patron now, one of you is going to get something within the next month at least. And I said 3 months. I'll probably do it randomly. I'll probably do it sometimes once every month, sometimes every couple of months, you know. Hopefully the patron thing will build and I'll be able to give something away to, you know, every single month. That's what I'd love to do, you know. Yeah, right. I've got so much to do today. My head is completely bombed with the things I'm working on, with the knives, with the sword, with the lathe, with the rocket stove I'm working on, some Damascus I'm forging. I'm also out working, you know, on my regular work, and I've got some pretty big projects to do, so I'm just trying to cram everything in, and at some point something's going to break, so the wheels are going to come off one of the wagons. I don't know what's going to have to suffer, but something will. I almost forgot to say, with regard to the rocket stove side of my content, quite a few people over the years have said, you know, you should write a book, but you know, that's probably not going to happen. What I would rather do is do a series of videos. So I thought of this quite a while ago, you know, about 3 years ago. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do a series of videos, and I am going to sort of talk about every single element of the rocket stove: firebox, drafting, riser tubes, exchangers, you know, flues, hype flue, just everything, you know. So I'm going to take each individual element, let's say the riser, and I am going to tell you everything I've learned about, say, the riser, and the knowledge and my thoughts on it and everything. And then we'll move on to sort of the firebox, the batch box, whatever you want to call it. Then we'll move on to the exchanger, flues, gas flow, all that. So I'm going to try and make it as absolutely as informational as I can, you know, and get every aspect. So hopefully with my knowledge you can then go on to sort of get your own thoughts then, and you can work with my knowledge and come up with your own ideas and think, you know. And if you want to discuss things with me, that's fine on Patreon as well. You know, I'll do that. A couple of guys have said, one of you guys has already said on Patreon that he'd like to collaborate. Well, that's fine, yeah. Because as I say, I'll never make a good living or a decent living making knives, but I've always thought that I will be able to make a living making and building rocket stoves if I can get the right build that is pretty easy to fabricate, because that's the killer on rocket stoves, it's the fabrication. I think this new one going forward might just be the answer. I've got to the stage with my last stove that I was even having talks with a guy about having this one manufactured in China, and I even got a backer to do it, but it was stupid to jump in with it, you know, because I know it can be improved. I've just got this feeling, you know, that there's a better way forward with this, and you can explore that with me. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking now and get on with some work. So thanks once again, fellas, and hopefully we can get a good little community going here on Patreon. And I've got a cat on the roof, or it might be a pheasant. I've got a pheasant in the garden. It's sort of taken up residence and he's walking around. I think he's on my roof at the moment. Anyway, sounds like a blackbird with giant clogs on, but I'll see you quite soon, guys. I'm going to start that series very soon on the rocket stove, so it'll be on here probably exclusively for until I've got every single video out, and then slowly I'll start dumping them onto YouTube, or I may actually just make a collage of every single one, put it on YouTube, and then leave them on here just for you guys to watch. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do actually. Right, thank you.